Hello, this is Megan Miller with Restoration Ranch. Today I'm reflecting on the grief journey and I'm considering the impact of the pandemic as some are continuing to grieve a loss that they've experienced before the pandemic hit, but also those who are facing loss in the midst of a pandemic. And for me, in my own journey of grief, I know how vitally important it was to my healing journey as we had the opportunity to gather for a funeral, as people shared story upon story and told me about their experience of my loved one. And for my husband, there wasn't anything that surprised me because of the connection that I had to him. But my brother, who was 3 years younger than me and had a different personality than me, it was just amazing to me to hear the different stories of how impactful his life had been on them. And it gave me a whole new appreciation for who he was. And as I think about what it looks like to grieve or to gather now, we have so many worries, we have so many concerns that we have to wrestle with. And there's funerals that have been delayed, and or even the ones that we have are looking so different. And we're not having the same opportunities to share those stories and to contribute to what it looks like to have a healing journey that can honor and celebrate the life that's been lost and also give this message that we are not alone. And when I think about that word of alone and feeling isolated, that's something that unfortunately, just as a people, we are experiencing in a very different way than ever before in our lives. And I think about the grief journey and how isolating and difficult it is, even without that extra layer. And so I just want to encourage you today that if you are facing loss or continuing to wrestle with a loss that you've experienced even prior to COVID, that I want you to be creative about how to seek resources during this time. Counseling can be an awesome resource. Being able to join grief groups virtually, just whatever that might look like, I want you to reach out and learn the truths about grief, that there is parts of that journey that we have to do alone. And it is so difficult and heart-wrenching. And yet healing can happen even when we dig in and let those tears fall. But there's also just an incredible healing that happens when we're able to join with others who understand and can experience that loss alongside of us or have some kind of their own experience. And that community is just, for me, had been such an important part. And so with my heart just really carrying a heavy load for what it means for those of us who experience loss in the midst of the pandemic, I want to offer some opportunities to be able to have that community. These are just some, just know if these aren't a fit for you, that's okay. But again, just being able to honor your grief and being able to know that it's healthy to be able to find some spaces that fit your needs as you find your way after losing somebody important to you. Or even the other funny thing about grief is sometimes we lose people that we had a difficult relationship with, but we still have to deal with not being able to come to terms with them and letting them go. So even if it's some complicated factors around the person who died, that relationship that you had with them, again, there's still a process to go through and navigate. But when it comes to those options, again, counseling is an option. And for Restoration Ranch, what I want to offer is I'm doing a Blue Christmas event in Kimball, and it will be in person. We will be doing an experience where we can keep seating 6 feet apart to offer social distancing, but also an opportunity to share story. And then I'm partnering with Tressa Rendell with Crazy Eights in Kimball, and she's going to help us make a Christmas ornament with the picture of our loved one to be able to display during the holiday season or year-round, honestly, if that fits too for you. But especially during the holidays, to have that empty seat is such a hard thing. And this time when we don't even know what gathering is going to look like anyways, but to have those people that are not present to us any longer, it's very hard. And so I want to offer that. I also actually want to get some feedback from you. If you have interest in being able to join me and Jessie Paulson with Painted Prayers, I'd like to offer a class with her, and that's offering a prayer through the act of painting. You do not need to be an expert artist to participate in this experience. But what I want to know is, first of all, is that something that you are interested in? And if so, can you let me know? Would you prefer to have an in-person option or an online option? If there's enough interest, we might be able to consider both. But please just comment in the poll and let us know if that's something of interest and in what format you would like that. Because again, I really feel like our hearts are in so much need of having some space to process. So go today knowing that you're not alone in your grief journey and that there are places to be able to honor the pain that you're experiencing with your loss. And I hope that these can be just a couple opportunities that you might be able to take advantage of.